Hey everyone, welcome back to Dollar Games, and today I want to dive into my time with Digimon Story Time Stranger. But before we get into it, I want to quickly thank Bandai Namco for providing me with a review code. I really appreciate the support. Now, this release feels especially meaningful for me. One of my all-time favorite underrated JRPGs is Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory. I've talked about it endlessly on this channel and on my podcast, The JRPG Pursuit, which you should totally check out if you love JRPGs and you like to hear people talk about it. It's a great time. I've even gone on shows like Party Chat, a JRPG podcast, which you should check out as well, to praise it as a hidden gem. So clearly I can't shut up about it, and today is no different, as I dive into my review of Digimon Story Time Stranger. As always, if you enjoy my content, please like, comment, and subscribe to help the channel grow. I've set myself the ambitious goal of hitting 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I'd love your help to making it happen. Anyways, let's get into it. All right, let's get into the story without giving away any spoilers. I'll try to at least. Digimon Story Time Stranger throws you into a mystery that combines time travel with the core bond between humans and Digimon. You play as a member of Adamas, a covert group investigating strange anomalies in Tokyo. During one mission in Shinjuku, you encounter an unfamiliar Digimon and a sudden explosion hurls you 8 years into the past. From there, you're pulled between two worlds, the human world and the parallel digital world called Iliad. As you cross between them, you start uncovering how they connect, why time is unraveling, and the role you and your partner Digimon must play to stop a catastrophe that could erase everything. That's just the basic setup. I won't spoil more, but I will give you a sense of the pacing. When you first jump in, you're dropped into this tense, dramatic scene that hooks you instantly. But after that, the tempo definitely slows down. Not in a bad way, but in a way that has you doing side quests and routine missions to set the stage for bigger moments. Just be ready for slower stretches early on. Now, as a Trails fan, I'm used to quieter segments between big story beats, so I didn't really mind it. And as the story unfolds, you meet a colorful cast of humans and Digimon, each pulling you into branching side plots and tricky situations where you'll rely on your growing Digimon roster to push through. It's the kind of narrative that slowly draws you in. So just be aware of that and set your expectations getting into it, because if you're expecting like constant action, you might be a little disappointed. And honestly, what keeps the narrative engaging is the game's presentation. Let's talk about that. Like I said earlier, Cyber Sleuth is one of my favorite underrated JRPGs, but one of its weak spots was presentation. Granted, it was an older game and you can't compare it to today's visuals, but the bigger issue was the dungeon design. Everything was randomly generated, leaving you with bland, futuristic hallways that had no texture or style. In Time Stranger though, that's all gone. Every dungeon feels handcrafted to match the story context or the area you're navigating. You even get branching paths and hidden sections you can find by breaking barrels, walls, and other objects. Honestly, it gave me Xenosaga Episode 1 vibes where you'd shoot objects to uncover items and passages. A little nostalgic blast from the past, and I can appreciate that. Outside the dungeons, you'll spend time roaming Tokyo. While you can't fully explore every corner, the areas are nicely designed with alleys and side paths hiding items. As I got deeper into the game, I found myself impressed by how varied the environments were. Whether it was Tokyo streets, Digimon towns, or dungeon runs, the setting never got repetitive. The digital world especially keeps changing things up, so you're always curious about what's next. The game also deserves credit for how it balances style and atmosphere. Lighting, sound design, and small environmental details make each area feel alive, even when you're not actively battling. Subtle animations like neon signs flickering in Tokyo or the way digital distortions ripple through Iliad help sell the idea you're straddling two unstable realities. It's these little touches that give the world personality and keep you immersed. But the real star here is the Digimon themselves. With over 400 Digimon to build your team from, they look fantastic. Yes, even you, Sukumon. The sheer effort put into these 3D models is wild. Many even have voice lines whether or not they're tied to the main story. Pokemon could really take notes here, especially on voice acting for human characters. And it's not just the models. Each Digimon's attack animations are distinct and fully fleshed out. It's amazing they've pulled this off with a roster that big. I'm talking 400 plus big. So when it comes to presentation, Time Stranger really does Digivolve beyond Cyber Sleuth. You can tell it was built with care. It may not be flawless, but it strikes a great balance between graphical fidelity and substance. Alright, Time Stranger may look great, but does the gameplay keep up with the presentation? Right away, I'll say the moment-to-moment experience was far better than I expected. With the earlier Cyber Sleuth titles, gameplay was fairly straightforward, and while much of that core remains intact here, Time Stranger layers on some clever new mechanics. Most notably, you can now engage enemies directly in the field with action-style interactions, similar to Metaphor ReFantazio. You can strike enemies before combat begins. If they're weaker, they'll instantly be defeated, and if they're equal or stronger, they'll start the fight already damaged. This gives you an edge going in, and also a quick way to clear out dungeons when you don't feel like grinding through every single encounter. While we're on the subject of defeating enemies, let's talk about how you recruit new Digimon. Instead of relying on random encounters or traditional capture mechanics, this game lets you obtain Digimon simply by beating them in battle. Each victory earns you a percentage towards what the game calls conversion. Once you hit 100%, you can convert that Digimon and add them to your roster. Push it to 200% and you'll unlock an even stronger version of that same Digimon. This ties neatly back into the pre-battle strike system because the faster you dispatch your enemies, the faster you'll hit those thresholds. It's a simple but meaningful quality of life tweak that makes building your custom team smoother than it was ever in Cyber Sleuth. Now let's get into Digivolving and De-Digivolving, which, just like in Cyber Sleuth, are the heart of the gameplay loop. The entire system revolves around crafting your ideal team, and while it can sound like a grind, think of it the way you would with Pokemon. It's all about min-maxing to your own style. There are multiple routes to evolve your Digimon with different branching paths depending on their stat spreads. What really adds depth this time though is the new personality system. Every Digimon has a personality trait that shifts depending on how you interact with them after battles or how you train them. More on that later. Those personalities influence which stats grow more quickly, so you'll want to plan ahead to decide what kind of Digimon you're aiming for. This system can feel a little intimidating at first, but the game does a good job of not overwhelming you. You can dive deep into the personality builds, stats, and team synergy if you want, or you can keep it casual and still make steady progress. The beauty is that it never punishes you for not min-maxing every detail. Instead, it gives you the freedom to pour endless hours into optimizing your team, or just focus on the story and still succeed. For me, that balance is a huge win. I don't always have time to go all in on the heavy systems, so having the choice to engage at my own pace makes the game that much more enjoyable. Now, if you're aiming to really min-max your Digimon and build that perfect team, you'll want to take advantage of the Digifarm feature. In this mode, you customize a small planet-like space that honestly reminded me a little of Master Kai's planet from Dragon Ball Z. Here, you can place Digimon you want to train while decorating and upgrading the farm itself. As you progress in the game, you'll earn food and training items that boost specific stats while also shaping a Digimon's personality to match those stats gains. If you're chasing a particular Digivolution, you'll need to note the stat requirements and then train that Digimon on the farm to meet them. The only real drawback is that once you're inside the farm, you can't really view the evolution path page from the settings. That means you'll need to jot down the requirements beforehand or back out repeatedly to double check, which I found myself doing far too often. On top of that, Digimon left in the farm can't be fully monitored in your settings, so you can't easily see their stats growth or check their evolution prerequisites. It's a minor gripe, but having those details available in the Digifarm itself would have saved me so much time. Now, overall, the gameplay here takes what was already fun in Cyber Sleuth and polishes it into a more modern system that fits today's design sensibilities. Even though the number of mechanics might seem intimidating at first, the game has plenty to offer without locking you into too much heavy grinding. You're gonna have to grind a little bit though. You can deep dive into stat training and team optimization if you want, or simply engage with the basics and still get that rewarding experience. Either way, Time Stranger makes sure that the time you spend in combat and customization feels worthwhile. So don't stress, just dive in and enjoy everything the gameplay system brings to the table. When it comes to extra content, Time Stranger has a fair amount to keep you occupied for as long as you'd like. Like many JRPGs, there's a card game that you can dive into, and thankfully, it's pretty straightforward. Both you and your opponent hold 5 cards, and the match plays out on screen with your Digivices facing each other, just like those Tamagotchi-style Digivices from the 90s. Alright, anyone else feel old remembering those? Yeah, I do. The gameplay itself is essentially a mix of rock, paper, scissors with number values attached. To win, you need to beat your opponent with the correct symbol while also having the higher number. Each new area you visit has challengers waiting for a card battle, so make sure to take them on. And don't forget to buy stronger cards and upgrade your deck along the way. When you're not dueling through cards, you'll spend time exploring dungeons. Occasionally, you'll stumble across special challenges called outer dungeons. These are optional trials that hand out a variety of rewards. You don't have to tackle them immediately. Later, you can access them through the In-Between Theater, which is a hub space that connects the human world and the digital world. This hub also houses NPCs selling items, the Digifarm, and those dungeon trials I mentioned. One of the trial types that I'm showing right now is protecting something called Digimeat. Yeah, it sounds weird, just go with it. Waves of Digimon charge towards it, and if they reach that meat, I lose. The idea is to intercept them with a mix of action and turn-based combat before they slip past you. It starts off easy, but quickly ramps up as the enemies get faster and more relentless. I really thought it was a neat diversion from the dungeon crawling. That said, I didn't feel the need to grind through a ton of them, so your mileage may vary if you decide to. I also want to quickly touch on the side quests. Back in Cyber Sleuth, side quests were nothing to get excited about, and honestly, they're about the same here. Some of them branch into more elaborate tasks, but most are simple errands that you can knock out quickly. The good news is they don't overstay their welcome, so even if they're not groundbreaking, you can still come away with useful items and some extra experience. All in all, they're fine. Just don't go in expecting them to blow you away. So when you put it all together, Digimon Story Time Stranger really delivers. The story blends time travel with that classic human Digimon bond in the way that pulls you in, even if the pacing takes its time to get rolling. The presentation is a major step up from Cyber Sleuth, with handcrafted dungeons, varied environments, and over 400 Digimon that look and feel alive thanks to the detailed models, voices, and unique attack animations. And the gameplay ties it all together. Whether you're striking enemies on the field, building or fine-tuning your team with Digivolution and the Digifarm, there's always something rewarding to work towards. Sure, it's not a perfect game. There are small gripes like UI quirks in the Digifarm or side quests that don't always impress, but those issues don't outweigh what this game gets right. What matters is that Time Stranger takes what Cyber Sleuth started and evolves it into something modern, engaging, and full of heart. I don't want this to end up as another hidden gem people discover years later. I want it to get the love and recognition it deserves right now. This is a fantastic JRPG that both Digimon fans and genre fans alike can enjoy. So if you've been on the fence, give this one a shot. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, and I truly hope Time Stranger gets the attention it earned. Again, if you loved this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks everyone, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.